In 2019, he completed just 48% of his passes when he was pressured. And that means this is a factor because he's going up against the Rams and Aaron Donald, who are 6th in the league in pass rush win rate. The Dolphins, meanwhile, have the 3rd worst pass blocking win rate in the NFL. And, of course, it means Aaron Donald, who is about the scariest player in the National Football League for quarterbacks to have to face. And so for the first time this morning, we are delighted to welcome into our conversation Mark Sanchez, the quarterback of our team, who's with us here with RC and Bart Scott. And you know, Mark, it has been in so many ways so long since we've seen Tua in a game because of the injury. You put together some tape to remind us of just what makes him so good. Let's see it.
I did, and you know me, Greeny, I'm always going to advocate for the quarterback, but these two plays are going to show you why I don't trust those stats all the time. But you're going to see his pocket presence, and you're going to see his eyes. So look at him. He understands that running back's going to have a huge collision running right across his face there, but he doesn't panic. He doesn't get happy feet. He just moseys on up in the pocket. Most importantly, when he does that, he stays calm with his feet and keeps his eyes up on the defense and anticipates where Jerry Jeudy's going to slam on the brakes and he throws him a strike. The next thing he does in the red zone, which is so deadly and decisive, I don't know if we're going to get that play, but if we don't, it's all good. What he does is he's able to process so quickly these quick short corner routes and these short slant routes from the outside, and he is just deadly in the red zone. He can beat you. And listen, all he's got to do is rely on those skills that made him such a good college quarterback. Don't worry about Aaron Donald and all these scary players that RC is going to tell us about on defense.
No question, but quickly, Mark, to you, because this was you once. You were a rookie, and you were starting your very first game. So when you're going up against NFL defense, and there's a guy like Aaron Donald on the other side, I mean, we are making a big deal out of it. As the quarterback, how big a deal should we be making out of it?
Well, listen, it is a big deal, and I can't lie to you. I would give a quick little glance to the other side during warm-ups and think like, man, that guy's pretty big and pretty fast. All right, baby, we got to be real fast today. Start talking to my feet and start talking to my own self. Just giving that positive self-talk. Like, you got to be quick today, baby.
So, RC, as he mentions, Tua going up against Aaron Donald. Give us a sense of what the game plan should be for keeping Tua on his feet.
Listen, Aaron Donald was the first original alien baby because he's that good. He's that talented. He's that different. And Tua has to understand that. Tua has to know coming into this game, I have to get the ball out of my hands. But also think back to the San Francisco 49ers a couple of weeks ago where we barely heard Aaron Donald's name. It's because Kyle Shanahan game planned him. Jimmy G got the ball out of his hands, thank Himbo, under 2.4 seconds that game. That's the lowest he's ever gotten the ball out of his hands. That's the type of things Tua has to do. He has to have a quick release. He has to get it out of his hand with anticipation and use that accuracy that made him so good at Alabama. But this is also going to be on the coaching staff. Move the pocket, double team, run the football. Find ways to make Aaron Donald think, because if you let him pin his ears back and come after your young quarterback, it's going to be a very long day. And think about the game against the Chicago Bears. It wasn't just Aaron Donald. It was Floyd. It was Rapp. It was Brockers. They moved people around to get pressure. This is going to be a tough start for Tua Tagovailoa.
They had 4 sacks Monday night in the game you're talking about. Some will say, Bart, why would you start him in his first game against Aaron Donald? What do you say to that?
Because in this league, you can't hide quarterbacks from everybody. Everybody has a guy. Before, Aaron Donald was the scariest man on the planet. J.J. Watt was the scariest man on the planet. Then it was Von Miller. Then it was DeMarcus Ware. It's always another guy. You have to start the process of getting this guy some experience. You have to start building that continuity with his teammates. You have to understand that, kid, you're going to always go about a good guy, but you got to understand, be able to do the little things. And listen, in Eric Flowers, I trust. We're going to see if Eric Flowers can step up and be able to shut Aaron Donald down. That's a joke.
And it's just a quick final thought.
I was wondering if that was a joke, Bart. I was going to be so mad at you.
Yeah, what?
Sanchez, do you expect him to play well immediately? Because this is a team that has won consecutive games and is in a playoff race. And no matter how much people want to diminish that, they are in a playoff race. Do you expect him to play well immediately?
I expect him to get a ton of pressure today, especially after you give out stats like that, on Sunday. But I think he'll do fine, and part of that is because they're going to have repped a lot of these plays for 2 weeks straight. I think he's going to have a fast start, and that's important for his confidence. So he's going to have run those plays multiple times against multiple looks that they're expecting, and he'll be in a calm state to start the game. Then who knows what happens in that third quarter.
Well, and for what it's worth, the Rams are playing on a short week. They played on Monday Night Football. And if the Bills should lose to the Patriots and the Dolphins win this game, I don't care what anybody says, they're tied for first place. I know you want to diminish it, but they will be tied for first in the division. We will see. Coming up.
Back without Odell Beckham. After struggling early in the game last week, Odell Beckham gets injured, and all of a sudden, Baker Mayfield becomes OJ the Juice Man. He goes on a run with 21 straight completions. They're going to need Baker Mayfield. I believe this team is a playoff wild card team. To do that, they're going to have to go through Oakland. They're going to have to go through the Raiders this week. And he's been playing at a high level. And before Odell Beckham got there, we thought that he was the truth. Since Odell Beckham been there, he's been struggling. Maybe less is more.
Next, the Cowboys, they have a big game against Philly.
Every time I see that, man, you never thought that a coach would have to address protecting your quarterback. Let's see if the Dallas Cowboys went to the wizard, got some heart, and instead of pointing the finger, start pointing the thumb. Because in the midst of all this is the fact if they win this week, they're leading the division. So glass half full. Let's see if they can step up, and let's see if they do have a leadership problem, Jerry Jones.
And then finally, how about Le'Veon Bell against his former team?
Man, this is the gift that keeps on giving. I think Le'Veon Bell is going to do his role and make sure that the Jets solidify that first overall pick. He gets to have an opportunity to win the Super Bowl, and he makes sure that the Jets have options. You know, Le'Veon Bell has the ability to prove that he can maybe be a number one running back in this league. Kansas City is going to feature him. He's their closer. I can't wait to see him do it.
Do you think?
Give us number one pick, Greeny. We need the number one pick.
Well, they're going to get the number one pick, Le'Veon or not. But the question is, do you think that this week they give Le'Veon the opportunity to really rub it in Adam Gase's face?
Well, I'm sure around the facility they're going to call this the Bell Bowl. Whenever you have a former teammate that got beef with their former organization, you usually feature him. And it's like, you broke up with your girlfriend and you end up going from a 7 to a 10. That's what Le'Veon Bell did.
So the Jets are a 7?
I'm still employed by him. I want my code to work when I go over on Tuesday.
Fair enough. That's I can't wait. Meanwhile, tomorrow is Halloween. So let's do a little trick-or-treat version of Contender or Pretender. Are they a trick or are they a treat? Diana, the Dolphins, are they a trick or are they a treat?
I'm thinking that they're a trick right now. Here's the problem. My reaction to the change of quarterback, this just feels like an ownership move right now. And I just feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick's reaction to all this would have been very different. He was in the know on all this. So this feels like a move that was made by ownership and perhaps not by the head coach. That's just my feelings on it, which is why I think it's a trick.
Next up, Ryan Clark. The Arizona Cardinals, are they a trick or a treat?
This is a treat. And I know about treats because I'm the snacks over everything president. When you go and you pull up to Cliff Kingsbury's house, which